Hey guys, it's Chen coming after another game of Total War 3 Kingdoms. We're here. Liu Chong 190 expanded. The year is 213, and the Emperor Xian reigns. Himself. He's actually in charge. He's doing stuff. He's married to Liu Xie, my girl, but of course she's going out on campaign, so it's time for a huge shakeup. Right before she left, you know, she and the chief concubine get along very well, but they're gonna, you know, because the game forces you to do this kind of thing, we're gonna get them a divorce real quick. Even though they're not, like, really divorced, right? And then he's gonna remarry, you know, Zhuge Pian, who he never divorced, not really, right? Where's she at? Oh, she's on an assignment right now, so she can't be. Say we're a relative now, but we were married to her. Maybe they can't get married back again. That is funny. Alright, well then in that case, we won't do that. 'Tis a silly plan. You know, it's weird. Anyway, scrap that subplot. We'll just have to go with a different one, right? Or we can say that it's going on, and we'll just adopt one of the other kids in, and yeah. Anyway, carrying on. So, what we're doing is moving forward in the north. Liu Dai is down here. He's not really worried about pushing them back, right? No, he'll show the flag a little bit. The old two-faced charlatan's still having a time, you know. Let's get him some decent armor. We don't need to give him anything too fancy, right? Right. There's not too much going on this front, you know. There might be eventually, but we don't have to worry about it. Here we've already marched up. Now these armies, these are the real ones, right? So Dongbai, we're going to go ahead and give her the best shield because I love her, and we're going to give her a good horse, a great horse. We're going to give her the Zhanbei war horse and the bodyguard. There we go. And then Dongli, we'll give her just these swords. We don't need to give her a gold one, I don't think. You know, because we like her less. Han Xian will get the fastest horse there. And the herdsman along with him. Shall we get him a bow and arrow for this trip? You know, let's get this thing swapped over here. We're gonna take Liu Chong's astronomer away, right? No, not astronomer. We want the diviner. Here we go. So we'll take this one. And this will get us 15% ability recharge rate, which will be very good. Speaking of, well, there'll be titles to distribute. We'll do that in a bit. Let's just move it forward. Yalu is going to receive the G of Heavenly Mandate. You know, the Emperor is well pleased with all of her amazing accomplishments in duels. And, you know, wants to show her his favor with that. Also, she's going to be named the, what kind of... You know, I love the idea of just throwing coiled dragon on her. yeah, you know, she was like, and this you get from winning 2 duels, 1 battle. She just won like 4 or 5. So we'll just go ahead and do this. Just turn her into an absolute monster. The Emperor names Lu Bu the Blood Dragon. And Liu Xie the Earth Dragon. As they go off to the north, Xing Daorong wants no title other than Iron General, the one he craved the most. Euphulo, we want to make General of Chariot Cavalry, but I don't think I can, right? Yeah, we don't actually have access to the title. We need 10 battles with generals who have 6 cavalry units in the retinues. Alright, so yeah, we gotta swap over to there. But right now, we will make him the General of the Left, you know, for this. And the D tribesman, the vertiginous Quake, Yalu's husband, is going to be showing up soon. But for now, it's time to march up. You know, the northern expedition has begun. It may be that we will add to it here in a bit. Hey, Ellie, how's it going? Been a bit since you watched the 3K stream. How's this campaign going? It continues to be the most wonderful thing. The Emperor is still superstitious about the river, so we're sending an expedition to the source of the river right now. Lu Ji, my girl, is married to the Emperor. Of course, they had a son the other year. They named him Liu Bong, which is the name of the founder of the Han Dynasty, which is hilarious. I laughed pretty hard. I didn't even make him name him that. They did that on their own. But he's up here, and we're taking a whole crew up. It's going to be great. Liu Chong is still alive. 71 years old. You know, every year is a blessing at this age. But yeah, it's going great. The story continues to be good. And here, Guo Si, who is associated with the tyrant Dong Zhuo, he's called Paranoid Thug, to let you know what kind of guy he is. But having been sighted relatively closely nearby, we're going to spring into action with Liu Chong and run across the land here. Speaking of spring into action, we're just going to be right here. These retinues are a little crummy. We've got enough money to improve them. Let's put a royal guard there. Armored archer here. Saber militia are trash. I mean, they're not awful, but they're not good enough for me. You know, this army is, you know, 2 repeating crossbows good. I think 3's a bit of overkill on it. Because really these armies just need to be affordable to keep them back. This army in the south is sort of being productive. You know, it's got siege weapons and stuff. He's going to go over here and he's going to make a difference. This is Lu Fan. He would rather be playing Go, but he's doing this. But no, at this point we are, you know, we're re-elongating the gameplay for narrative value, but in a tremendous and wonderful way, and not like a, oh, just get it over with way. That's my take on it anyway. Anyway, speaking of, let's build a lot of buildings real quick. It is time to build up everywhere. Of course, we want huge amounts of food. It's very easy for us to build quickly now through various effects, but we are, you know, hamstrung by our pool of resources, which, though incredibly vast, you know, can hardly keep up with the demands of empire. There's a metaphor there somewhere. Or at least a lesson. At least a lesson. Speaking of lessons, are there any to be learned from this? Yes, we must push forward. Now, here, you know, the South's a bit of a mess, right? But it's not like a dangerous mess. Nobody down here is, like, strong and to be worried about. They're just messing with my dudes who do not have anything else to do with their time, after all, and very well might rebel if things got too sorted out. However, Cao Cao moving in is not desirable. he's too strong by half, you know, as he builds up. He doesn't have a lot of forces here. Cao Cao is like a scoundrel and a schemer. In real life, his descendants become, of course, emperors for a time under the Wei. But then they and all of his sons get supplanted by the advisor Sima Yi, who's currently traveling in his army. Oh, you want peace? No, I don't think so, buddy. You are a hubristic warlord. But having made landfall on the other side of the river, you know, our allies are doing a little bit. But here, Song Xian, the leader of these fools, and Liu Biao should be here. Liu Biao, of course, an imperial relative, and lived next door to us for like the whole campaign, and then declared war on us out of nowhere. Unironically, out of nowhere. There was no excuse for it. There was no call for it. We never did anything to him. We were totally bros the whole time. And, moreover, I wasn't actually planning on taking all of his stuff, and wasn't going to. And then he attacked me. Ridiculous. But anyway, he fled up here to Songjin, which makes us think that he must have been responsible in some way for the Curse of the Yellow River. Trademarked. A long intern later, and we're here. Xing Darong becomes trustworthy. Good. And various people have reached their level of achievement. Alright. Our faction support is still fine with our tax level, which is just what we wanted to see. Public order is still fine too, even with the boost. And right now, now that this army is healed up, just going here, and Guo Si, you know, if he fights against these strategists here, these noble strategists, the treasonous turncoat, and the duplicitous mastermind, as they're called, you know, when you get names like that, no. Zhang Liao's forces, we might well improve them, right? There's no reason not to. We will get a fine army of peacekeepers just for him. And this army will, in a turn, be able to assist. You know, this one, they're just gonna, you know, we could throw another general here who's nearby, but you know, they're just gonna have to deal. Anybody brave? Like, you are definitely a spy. But we'll recruit you in here. And hey, you know, if you prevail well here, then that'll be a good reason to keep you as a spy. And if not, well, you know, what do you do? Sometimes it's fun to recruit definitely spies, although they can cause you problems in your faction basically immediately, so you don't necessarily want to do it, you know. Who would have thought that a spy could be undesirable? Now it looks like they are going to be trying to make landfall again here. That's perfect.
万物失节。
That's perfect, I say, as their armies swarm. No, it is. We will have another brawl after all, which is desirable.
正在行进。准备行动。
Give this guy, like, a crummy bow. Do I even have one? No, I don't. Shocking. We will give him this little dude, then. That'll be nice, you know. Little mark of favor there. Speaking of... Oh, I just thought that was the leader. It is actually... Probably his wife? Daughter? I don't know. Let's, wife. There you go. Of Silken Grace has normal skill tree. Yeah, well, you know, she's gonna have a real bad wake-up call here.
立刻群敌。赶快！正在行进。正在行军。
And this army needs to get old boy. Who is fresh on the scene. Alright, we are dropping frames. Come on, YouTube. Don't fail me now. And we'll just wait here for a turn and they'll be able to march on up. Alright, good stuff there. Continuing to push on this way, just where we want to be. Alright, and now it's time to upgrade our AP damage, just where we want to be. Alright, let's push through here. We need corruption reduction. That is the order of the day. We're spending all the money on that. Or on getting to it. Of course, with our very fast building speed through various mechanisms, mainly Guo Si's wife and our immense population, we're able to get it. Hey, hitting level 10 here. What do we want to build? Well, there's a lot of choices, huh? I would think that a tax building would be good in a place with this many multipliers, but maybe we want to just, you know, industry. After all, this is a lot of industry. Yeah, we'll build a private workshops. And an office of works, yeah, why not? We'll make this one the industry town. Alright. Now what we want to do is end the turn on a super quick note. Yeah, you know, sometimes the turns just fly through, and that feels good, right? It feels good to play the game quick. Speaking of playing the game quick, he's got the Warlord's Bane, so he doesn't need a gold weapon. Yufalo, you know, we can't give you one of these. These are too special for you. We'll find you something soon, buddy. Don't worry.
纯心守贞，根壮而后枝叶繁。廉洁奉公，忍受苦难。领教我的力量。
Like, we've got a couple of cool golden weapons to hand out, but, you know, we gotta wait for the right guy in the right moment, the person who deserves it. After all, you know, soon enough, the Prince of Chen, son Chen, I say Chen, it's almost definitely like Chen, right? But anyway, I say it wrong, I say everything wrong. It's not because I don't respect the prince or his lands, it's because I can't pronounce anything right. I'm sure Liu Chong would be well pleased with the regard in which we're holding him, if a little confused by my inability to say his name right ever.
你我同心，定能一扫乱世。
Now, we don't want him involved in this war down here. We don't want Cao Cao to be getting more of these lands in the south. He's kind of popping off a little too hard, right? I mean, I'm not worried about him. What could he do against us? Like, you know, we're the Han. He's just Cao Cao. But it is bracing that he is by far the strongest of all of our vassals, right? It would be better if there were more equality among them. But I've been thinking, you know, and Liu Chong has recommended as much to the Emperor, that perhaps it is time to restructure this system of vassalage in favor of a formal empire where the tributes are distributed around, you know, to each province according to their need, and from each of them according to the abilities that they have, you know. And if this sounds a little bit like a reformation that happened, about 200 years earlier, well, with a comet falling in the middle of the battlefield and all that, that doesn't mean it's going to happen again this time. After all, it wasn't like a unique situation there. I mean, it was happening. It should have been happening all along. You know, we've just been resorting things out. Even as recently as, 20 years ago in that crisis, that was still the way that the Han was operating. You know, we've got to be sneezed out. Joyous occasion, a son is born! Liu Xie is born to the Emperor and Empress. A wonderful day. And, she's gonna ship him off to the capital real quick before we go out on campaign. She and Zhuge Pian get along super well. People thought that they wouldn't. They thought there'd be this whole thing. But, she's like a really good and untrustworthy person. Speaking of trustworthy, Xu Huang gets that trait. We've always trusted him, but he gets the trait. Sun Jing getting into the people of merit. Very interesting. Speaking of, we'll need to... because he won't be a spy, because he would, have been in that faction. Now, we don't have... Yeah, we don't have anything against him specifically. He was affiliated with an enemy or whatever, but we've been forgiving people steadily. And getting him will, bolster the idea that more of the Sun family can come to us, as we've already got Sun Bun. And, there we go. We grab him. This also denies him to anybody else. And, perhaps in time, we'll move them off to the south and give them some lands. But it would be better if they administered lands that wasn't where they were from. That's the way of the Han, right? And you can certainly see how productive that can be. It's like, well, they would know more people if they operated where they were from. I'm like, yeah, would they behave well? And you're like, oh, would they behave well? Because it's a lot easier to catch people when they're trying to do things they're not supposed to do in a place that they're not from, where they don't know everybody already, where there's not an expectation that the corruption's definitely going to work out. Allegedly. Okay, so we need to get to large regional city in order to get to the archives and seals, which is level 9. There's a lot of food to drop, but... Well... I think I knew that and then kind of ignored it, but anyway, we're just going to get a whole bunch of food. No, I must have known that, because otherwise I wouldn't have. Yeah, so we can... I guess we can go to this one and then we swap over when the city gets big enough. But because the web of corruption reduction is pretty good, but what I want is the negative 2% for the whole faction. That way everyone can benefit from the excellence. But yeah, I guess we'll just build this one and then convert it over whenever it's possible. After all, this will at least be something immediately, and that is better than something eventually. Unless it isn't. Do we want to build a school here? Yeah, we totally do, because this is the place with the Grand Temple City of Confucius, so Huangcheng very much should become like a center of learning, and also military armoring. Liu Jun, our trusted relative, is administering over there, taking care of business, getting it done. And is this lodge even desirable here? I don't think so, right? I don't think it's really paying off. Corruption reduction. Of course, the pass must be improved. And then here, obviously, the garrison must be improved, not least because of everything going on around here. And now we're out of money again, which is what you want to see. There's nothing as happy as building all of the stuff you can build. Not to me. We're going to build a forge here. I mean, might as well, right? I like forges, who doesn't? And now we're just gonna straight march all the way up. Why? Because my army's strong, his army can't reach me. If he takes it over, we'll be able to hit him. Sure, it'll be a little messy, but not that messy. This army's good, right? We've got some punch, we've got some spears, we've got ladies garrison over here. Oh, speaking of, geez, we need to get this garrison. That's more important than the corruption reduction. Oh, it's not a big enough city. Okay, well, we gotta get correct. We gotta swap some of this. I have made mistakes. Mistakes were made. All right, let's this one. So we can just force it, and then we got plenty of money tied up in these things. Oh, this is a training camp. This isn't even... Oh, my goodness. Great. It'll be fine. Again, it will take several seasons for them to get up here. We'll just send this army to cut them off. Yeah, we'll just send that army to cut them off. Because we can't have them getting an emperor's seat. Obviously, we'd be able to get it back very quickly. But equally, obviously, that would be unsuitable. And on taking the Silk Place, we have recruited a character. Huang Fengpei. Who's lumbering, superstitious, and tough, you know. You'll fit in great here. We'll get her into an army up here before too long. Jing Daorong, crucially, importantly, beautifully, massively gets level 8. And you know what that means, of course. That means it's time to... Now that we're on our way, get the Imperial Guards! That's right, Lu Ji breaks out the casks and says, by the way, we've got some surprises for y'all. We've got everything we need. No, we'll have to wait till next turn to get even more of them. But there we go. A couple of them there. We're keeping the yellow dragons for the shield breaker, but everybody else will drop, and then, you know, we'll have very, very awesome units here. Lu Ji gets to level 6, my girl. Rage of Lu Ji. And Lu Bu and the girls are going to wait in ambush here, so no matter where they try to go, we'll be able to find them, right?
力求上进，功名震
We will
天。
call this catching the snake in the grass. And in so doing, protect the Emperor's seat pretty handily. Oh yeah, the Han Empire has taken over here, so that's good.
正在行进。
I think that happens sometimes when, like, rebels take over and then, I don't know, like, maybe if they have it long enough. I'm not sure. But they work for me, and that's just what we want to see.
一鼓作气。心运良谋。
Alright, so if we go here, we just need to win super clean. That won't be an issue. We have an army that is absolutely built to do these things super
入
clean.
好吧。
We actually... Yeah, let's just auto it, I guess. Yeah, there's nothing that'll get hurt there. If they come and hit me anyway, yeah, we, yeah, when it says low losses, it means it, right? So it's probably about as good as I would do anyway.
正用得上此城。平息战乱。
And there's a little bandit thing in the copper mine there. Not very desirable.
志如流水。
But it looks like Wu Jing is on his way out. Bankrupt, probably. Rebellions all around. You know, it's a hard knock life.
为了传承，保持原样。
Speaking of,
护国
Wang
讨
Chen
贼
here has just been,
奋力
well,
一
chased
战
by the prince anyway. It's like caught, no, chased by the prince. We're gonna get back on the road though, right? Because now he's in the middle of nowhere. We're not getting in there. He's also out of supplies in the middle of our lands. We've got, you know, some allies around. Allies, vassals, even better than an ally. They pay me for the privilege. Oh, you can get the red flag for faction support, you know. After a couple hundred hours, you start to notice just a couple of things, not a lot.
千层波浪，充实巨岩。
And they're like trying to attrite us. That's like not gonna work, right? Oh no, it is immediately working. Oh, because the reserves of this place are not the reserves of the... Yeah, makes sense. But like not in a fun way. Alright. Just building more farms and...
胸怀中正，
we'll be able to get more fine archers here at the hub.
闻风而动，雷厉风行。
Dongbai doesn't get along with them, but I like her, and I know that they're just, you know, they're just misunderstood, right? And unfortunately, we have rush built that, which was a waste. It's fine though. This place makes good money. We're already doing that. All right. Yeah, we'll just make some more money there. We'll fill Yolan and corrupt here. And he's, you know, an excellency, so he should be doing that here. You know, to represent that he's doing that, but still paying attention. Okay, exploit Mac market. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is the, awesome. This is the child of Yalu and Yuhe. The Yuhe, who's just grown up. One of their other children, I think two of their other children actually perished, but This one's vacant. Alright, so exploit black market. That's cool. We're gonna get trade influence and try to get cool stuff from it. Don't think we've done that before. Maybe it'll be a random item. Maybe it'll be a cool and unique item. It's hard to say. We have a notification here because we're actually... Oh, this is because people are looting it. I was like, why do we have low public order? Shocking. And here, same reason, you know. It's not surprising to have the low public order in these places where there are armies. So that is fine. Just fine.
根壮而后，枝叶繁茂。
And Gaolan has made landfall. Are we going to have a big old brawl? Supion showing back up. He heard that his nemesis isn't here, right? So he was desirous to make contact.
法令必行，稍事休息。
开战！稍事休息，不行。
秩序井然，则四海可定。
And once more, time for a big ol' brawl. The ladyhood, the champion of the river. You know, people don't like how much I like her, but I don't care. Nobody alive has a problem with how much I like her. People in universe here don't like how much I like her. But that's okay. Their opinion is only sort of involved here. Do we have any, like, great duelists? No. We do have people that we didn't put good send armor on. That's okay. We've got plenty of people who can theoretically fight a little bit, and that is fine. Ooh, he's got the Janmado. You know, they've got guys with huge killing power, and I have super high troop quality and you know, gumption. Is it going to be that same old map again? Oh, a little bit different this time. Well, I don't love that, but we'll see what we can do. Because a lot of their cav is like, okay, a little bit of a problem for this army, but we've got the follow-up. And the thing is our range is really quite excellent, and trebuchets are pretty good. And where's the reinforcements coming from? Alright, excellent. We'll be just fine. So we'll be able to set up here, and all of our reinforcements will be able to come in here. And if we can get them stuck on these marshes, oh, it's going to be a bad time for these fools, which is exactly what happens, right? That's exactly what happens. We get them stuck on the marshes. We're just going to move the trebs forward so we can make sure to get all the pain there at the start. But we're going to be moving pretty aggressively here, just bargaining on the idea that we can move our reinforcements up and cover this flank pretty aggressively. So we'll just get, like, everybody here, right, and then move the Chen Royal Guard to the center. Because they might dither, right? They just might, and if they do... Can we shoot him down? Yeah, we can shoot him down. My lady's gonna go for it. Alright, excellent. It is Liu Xie out here, so the Cataphractoi are coming in. That's gonna be excellent. Just take some shots at him. And for all that they're in the trees, you know, I gotta figure that some of these shots are hitting him anyway, right? That's what I've got to figure. Cataphract's coming up immediately. All right, everybody just getting in here. Alright, it's a big flank this side. We just need to get into position here, and then all of them will be there. We've got Surge, but no one to really take advantage of Surge on. We're still just taking shots here. But, I mean, hey, maybe she'll hit him with one of them. Crucially, the trebuchets have already gotten 140 kills each, and they are still popping off, which just means we need to protect them, right? Right. But we get the Ottoman resolve after we hit the charge here. These veteran saber infantry, these are the veterans of Hongnong, right? And they won't be so easily moved. We need to get the cav here. Just want to get them going here. And like, he just ate a shock charge that cannot be allowed to stand, but here we go. This is what we needed. Yikes, we get popped on there. The lady's got to get out. We need to get her back on these archers if possible. And then here. Actually, if we leave with her, these guys will flee. But, boom. Getting all the damage in here. These ranged guys need to go here, or actually 5 will engage there, but onto red. Onto red and here. We're just melting in here. Actually, these are the Chen Royal Guard. We don't need to be repositioning them. They're quite fine. Oh man, she shows my lack of strategy against the cataphracts here. These are Xiongnu cavalry, right? That's a big model count. We should not have been doing what we did there. Alright, we're about to get jumped on the back here. That means, you guessed it, time to overreact. No, that's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna underreact, actually. But crucially, these are repeating crossbows in the front. Hardly what they want to meet. Now we have to get fighters onto them here and shot cav onto them if we can. Alright, these guys have come back. He is coming back, you know, after a sort of shameful display, but hey, what are you gonna do?
快集合兵力，将军有难，急需救援。准备好了，加快脚步，鼓起勇气，顽强不屈。注意，诛灭敌军，编队，杀光敌军。
Alright, so he's gonna jump on Supion. The thing is we are actually crumbling on this front very badly. Yeah. The infantry's gone. If we don't get him down, this is gonna be very bad, but hopefully this pull on the cav will help, and we will fire here and here. Because if they get onto the trebuchets, we're in real trouble. But I think here, the strong fighting abilities of our men kick on right on time. We'll sweep across the battlefield here. And here, and while he tries to get onto the trebuchets, you know, we have just enough time to get the support on. Beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, not great, but beautiful. Crucially, you know, they had their strength, but we had ours. And now We rain down the pain upon them. Shibai is, you know, we need to get him in here. Oh no! Oh, I didn't mean to click that. Oh, we're gonna lose. Oh man. Well, you know, he was brave. We need to get them back on their horses. We need to get these guys firing in here. Alright, so so they won that. Oh, the cataphracts are still like totally losing over here. Well, you know, that's not true. They're not totally losing. The Xiongnu cavalry are better than we gave them credit for, right? There's a lot of models in their unit. Liu Chong is strong and mighty, but he's on a horse and we're not anymore, so we should win. But you know, this is what you get for treating regular generals like they're strong ones. But you know, that's the thing, is 3 guys on foot, as long as one of them is very brave, and you'll be able to get it done, right? Right. The flank charge hits here, and we get onto these repeating crossbows here. Like, all of y'all reject duels. Y'all saw what happened the last time we started. But now we are back online, and we're just going to get these off of the field. These cavalry, crazy work for them, but you know, now right at the 10-minute mark, they'd all be running anyway. But here, their strongest forces, I think, were dealt with, but we'll see what they bring to bear in the future here, right? But we have to imagine that whatever it is, we've dealt with the worst of it. We have to imagine that. Oh, we did have reinforcements coming from over there. Either that or these people are over here. I think the reinforcements coming from over there. No. Alright, Lance Cav coming up. These archer militia will flee. These Imperial Guards fighting a sentinel in the trees, you know, at least that fight will go on for a while, probably. Get in here, hit the Flames of the Phoenix, which I think they were already breaking off, but beautiful work here. The Xiongnu Cavalry have shields, but, you know, not that great of them. We'll just hit them, right? We'll just hit them. It'll work, you'll see. After all, our shield is only as good as the cavalry wearing it. Hit them with the bind here and here. Just let them know we're not afraid. Even if we should be afraid, let them know that we are not clever enough to be afraid. We are only clever enough to win. Trebuchet is running off the battlefield in a awkward way, but hey, what are you gonna do? Thinking of trebuchets, y'all withdraw as well. And this guy now is just pushing through everything. We really, really need to... Oh yeah, he's level 7. Of course, he's just mauling everything. Just a regular sword. That's all you need, right? Oh yeah, he's on foot. Hardly good news. Well, you know, at least he'll be better at fighting this guy. But if he can get in there. There we go. We, you know, we nearly make a little bit of contact. Speaking of, let's start taking some shots at this guy, right? Let's get out here. You know, I do fear that my retreating guys are gonna get ran into in a way that I did not desire. We'll just charge into here. And there, he's in some trouble. And it's him, it's Zuozi Hangba, the man of the mustache. Our reinforcements come onto the battlefield, and just in time. The lady struck with a spear guard there. We can see that they're not going to charge us because they went to spear wall, right? So then we're just going to take a couple shots at Chu Ying and hopefully break him off. We know he's on foot, so the spears aren't as dangerous to him. They're just regular. And then boom, now he's running, and we'll charge forward into these veteran Sabre infantry. We need to take control of this tower, otherwise we're just fighting underneath it. You know, if we hadn't lost that duel, we'd be in a lot better shape, huh? And I did not want to take it. I just misclicked. But that's what you get for not giving your general specific instructions not to duel like a dummy. Alright, and it looks like... Yep, Liu Xie. Oh no, and the lady who is gonna fall as well. The carnage. You know, it just goes to show how much we needed the force that went to the north, you know. Is the defense of the river gonna fail? I don't think so. I think we have plenty of reinforcements, but it certainly is going to be up to them. These are the retinue of the 50-foot mustache, and they are pretty good at this fight. We get a charge in on them here. You know, they were trying to negate it. They might have well done it, but now, under the charge of 2 heavy infantry, you know, they've met their match, literally and figuratively, and then, you know, under some arrows, they should be able to get hit a bit too. Now, crucially, this general is just having an actual party. no, those are spears. I was like, he's just partying. No, there are some spears back here, but he is rocking out on these archers, which is great. Alright, coming through there, and then we get onto these cavalry. I don't even think they get the charge on us. No, we need to meet them here, and we'll flank here. Mustache Man is far ahead of them there, and now we're just going to take shots at this guy. No need. We will jump on the crossbows here. Alright, reports of our death were greatly exaggerated. And on this front, you know, the Xiongnu cavalry, even embroiled with heavy G infantry, you know, they really stand up. That's the thing about G infantry, right? They don't do tons more damage as you get to higher levels. They just, like, live longer, a lot longer. But Mi Hung shows up. All right. It's time to insult some dudes to death. I was just reading in Romance of the Three Kingdoms about him. Oh, what a guy. Oh, what a champion. If y'all don't know, he, like... So Kong Rong nominates him for a role in Cao Cao's court, and then he gets there and he disses everybody, and Cao Cao insults him by making him a drummer boy, and then he takes off his clothes and, like, drums and disses all of them, and then Cao Cao sends him off to Liu Biao, and he insults him, and he says, "What Huang Su," who ultimately kills him. But basically, he's a... You know, he's just a dude who couldn't help but tell the truth in the funniest, most aggressive way possible. It was, like, super smart, and all he did was diss folk. And anyway, he's going to... As Xu Jing tries to get away, we're going to see if we can catch up with him and insult him to death here. I don't think we can, because he's on a horse. But anyway... A wonderful victory. You know, some of our forces did great, and some of them were also there. There will be a huge montage of all the various defenses of the river one day.
当今战乱频仍，生灵涂
But it's
炭
always fun whenever you take, you know, because, you know, the lady who's the hero of the campaign, right? But these other people are, you know, sort of newer on the scene, and Liu Qi, for all of our affection for, like, the last, or the fourth campaign ago, you know, a lot of these people are just getting started, which is to say, you know, their retinues are newer, they don't have their veterancy levels on top of it. You know, and we were fighting, you know, against some quite strong folk here, but alright. Long Feng Yue, we will release you one time.
放了他们。
Supion, I want you to join me. We've already released him before, though.
不杀此等贼人，天理不容。
Esoteric wordsmith. Got a little Ghostbuster reference on him.
我可不是薄情寡义之人。团结一心。
Once again, we will press them into the service of the Han. And a character is promoted out of the service of the battle. This one is Huanjin. Filial and pious. Weak. Cheerful and temperamental. Well, you know. Can't all be perfect, buddy. Like, did that just say that Sun Jian was with Tongji? I don't have a spy thing there. But crucially, we've taken care of that, and now it's a simple enough matter to roll them up here. Bum, 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 bum.
成地利之变。
别等敌人中我军埋伏。
开战！
You know, it's always the sentinel weapons that are in the highest demand, right? But here... Oh, nice! We got the Phoenix's beak. We got Liu Chong's weapon after that battle. So, most excellent indeed. We'll have to decide who deserves it. Because, like, somehow all of the children are commanders or sentinels, right? So there's, like, nobody that's going to be a champion or a vanguard there. But, you know, there's plenty of room to find somebody who wants these weapons. Out here somewhere. Although, like, everybody up here's got gold, right? Yeah, of course they do. Speaking of, that's all sorted, right? That's everything we gotta do. That is all of it. Wuchugu is there. King Menghuo is, you know, ascendant there. And I'm sure that nothing will ever go wrong for us having, you know, palled around with the non-men and allowed them to, you know, unite the tribes, as it were.
目标只有一个，做好准备，深谋远虑，立马出击。我的目标十分
Zhang
明确。
Liao bravely charges up in the defense of the town.
千层波浪，充实。
460,000 people are well pleased with that result. Bum, bum, bum. We see Song came back, you know, took the land back there and hit him up there. But we're going to be, you know, not unhappy to see that. After all, an uneasy détente at the river with us knowing that we are actively working against the curse now. You know, we're moving against it. It's not like the 7 years before. Bum, 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 bum. Because as long as the main two armies continuously are moving in, hey, a daughter's been born to Song and Zimingzhu, which is good, you know, because they are, you know, there's a political marriage. She's not really adopted, but she is very nice. Liu Xie and Jing Daorong and the Emperor and Luo Jun have both become rivals. Such is the displeasure that the Emperor is starting to feel with their differences of opinion. You know, regardless of how successful... Right, so this guy is going to join up. He, you know, showed up at the other Han Empire, and they were like, "Oh, you want the Han Empire? Because I'm the Han Empire, and you wanted the Han Empire, but you need the Han Empire. That's 3 doors over that way. They've actually got an expedition up to your neck of the woods." He's like, "Yes, I have heard. I want to get involved." This would be a Zhongnu, I think. I think he's a Zhongnu fellow. But... it carries fear and respect to friends and foes alike. You know, that's good. That's real good. We're going to get him somewhere pretty... oh, he got banished by Song, yeah. And then ended up in the Han after a period of time without being hired by anyone, it looks like. Well...
保持原样。
Guo Si gets cut down by Zhang Liao, who at this long delayed hour is able to, you know, do some service against this villain. Because we're blaming, like, all the stuff that Li Xue did, like, historically. All of that gets put at the feet of him. Liu He. What's up with you, buddy? What's your story, Morning Glory? Rebel without a cause. Huh, okay. You already have mending. Well, that is nice. Oh, you just worked for this guy the whole time. Seems like you fell in with a bad crowd, buddy. Why don't you just join me? And the prince chases down some rebels in the winter, which is, after all, exactly what he wanted to do. And, you know, I think winter is when old age comes, so, you know, as we see, feeling strong and powerful in his old age, you know, he continues being awesome.
克勤克诚，方成大事。 一统天下。
Master Crafter, I love that guy.
这就去办。
But speaking of, well, it is time to give them Imperial retinues in a bit. We've got to do it up here first. After all, he's the Grand Commandant, for all that he's a rival to the Emperor now. Alright, so we'll hit her here, and then she runs away to that side.
保持原样，杀光他们！
You know, for all that it would be fun to roll over, we're certainly going to be having more situations like that with a bigger fight soon enough, so...
我很满意。
A move over him, Lubu, you know, we'll just imagine that they won and it looked good.
职责所在。
And all these people can join up.
不杀干净，必
And, you know,
不护。
it's long past time for the minor people to be somewhere, but, you know, we'll fire people or not as things work out. Xu Huang levels up, my man. The Emperor levels up to level 7. Alright, what do you want here? Reserves we don't need. Trade isn't that good. I think we just take the 4 public order and 10% character experience. I think that's the strongest thing right there. Very nice. Very nice for the Emperor, you know, getting there, moving along, being so useful. I'm sure he's glad that I find him useful. Gee, thanks, I'll say. Yeah, it's like we can give him, yeah, we'll give him 2 Imperial Sword Guard as well. He's the Grand Commandant after all. And then do we want to give him like 1? Yeah, we'll give him 1. We'll give him a Lancer 2. Well, no, we'll just do infantry for the Grand Commandant. That's just fine. That's just fine. We'll do another spear. Nobody ever went wrong with plenty of spears, right?
实贵不可言也。我军所向披靡。 恢复原样。
Ah, the Lady Wu.
全军注意！
Well, we may get an opportunity to fight them. We'll see. May not be the smartest move to move up like that. It isn't. None of this is the smartest move. Look, we are doing this for the amazing story that we're creating, right? Right. Alright, so...
居安思危，未雨绸缪。
Do we want to... Yeah, we're just gonna swap to a couple peacekeepers, after all. Quite appropriate. For the Empress to have the mark of Chen there, you know, and then these Marines. I mean, we can keep them how they are. Yeah, it's just fine. Yeah, that's just fine.
根壮而后，枝叶繁茂。
Now, we want that horse pasture, but taking the city here is more of a priority. It's like, as we move aggressively forward, like, I don't know who these people are. I'm not in the slightest bit worried about it. Do you see this army? This is Xingda Rong. This is Liu Xie and Han Xian. So they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be just totally okay. Speaking of, do we want to give him a bow? Yeah, why not? Well, somebody else need a horse. She's got a Zhongbei horse. We'll give you a nice Good stallion. Dongli, you know, always the bridesmaid, never the bride whenever it comes to me giving cool items to people. He's still got his horse, his proper horse. Good for him. We just gave her the G of Heavenly Mandate, but would the Phoenix's Beak be even cooler? Well, she didn't personally take it from him, so this actually is cooler because it was awarded to her. There you go. We've answered the question. Phoenix's Beak. We'll find somebody for it. I mean, we've already got, you know, candidates, but
为了大业，我要和谋士见见。
Mi Hung gets to level 3 and thus gets a little bit of pizzazz added to his life there.
Keep 行动，别动僵了。
These armies of the front here, just getting sorted out a little bit more.
悉心节欲，待时而发。
The air infantry of Jing and archers of Jing, which I'm reticent to drop, but, you know. Oh no, we can keep them like this. I actually quite like the armored archer, right? I think the armored archer is good. Good value. And here, we just want to move away from the river a little bit, right? Because, you know, we don't want to... If we want to... We don't know where they're going to try to make landfall if they do, so we want to be on the road so that we can feel about how good it is to be on that road again. Alright, so now we're just going to run through real quick and reduce our corruption buildings, and that'll be all of our money before we can blink. Ah, the Imperial Palace at Luoyang! Glorious day. The capital city has become level 10, so we will be able to build the palace, and that'll finish in a year and a month. So maybe it'll be the spring of 215. And with the advent of the palace, we might make some changes with administration and stuff, right? Beyond what we already have done.
则屏息凝神。 正在行进。原地候命。
And here we move like so, and yeah, we'll still be able to get supported if he moves in. We'll see how that works out. You know, plenty of supplies due to neighboring effects. So, and we know Meng Huo, for all that he is working for us, is not like that strong. He doesn't have that many armies, probably because he's paying us, huh? Haha, you know, convenient. I mean, it's terrible that he can't get his act together and rebel. I said no one ever.
绝不动摇，满怀信念，奋力一战。
Now on this front, we still want them to think that these routes are an easy mark, right?
齐心协力，
So it's back to the road and back
见
to
风出鞘，
ambush.
攻其不备。
There.
心如止水，气聚神凝。
Yeah, here, the coin mint, we need to swap that, the other one, because it's faction-wide. I think in vanilla it's like corruption reduction, but I don't have that
合
here.
成机密。
诸位举杯相庆吧！
And we caught him in March here. And with a mighty stabby stab, he goes right down.
思维迅捷，则可避其锋芒。 我等非蛮夷也。 放了吧，无法为我军所用。
无前，
Oh, yeah.
不可勉强。
Apparently, it's really hard to walk there. Got it.
正在行军。
The prince's work is done. Guo Si being stricken. The Lady Liu and her imperial retinue. Is that Yuan Yin? Oh, Cao Cao. How you gonna have one of the Yuan clan working for you? How deep does the rot go, Cao Cao? Am I gonna find Yuan Shu working over for you somewhere, man? Oh, he's not part of that family actually at all. This is Yuan Yu's brother. Got it. I thought this was Yuan Shu's son. That's Yuan Shao's son there. Well, anyway, we're gonna... Alright, she can spy without getting caught, so we're gonna send her to see what she can see. We've heard rumors that Sun Xian is there, but we can't substantiate them as of yet. Being unable to substantiate rumors is terrible, right? You really want to be able to put some substance to a rumor. Here we're marching just because we're quite far from action. Same thing here. Here we're actually like in the mountains. It'll probably take a whole turn to... No, they'll be fine. Yeah. It's going to take them a little while to get in here. The really long path is this way.
心如利刃，我军必胜。
It's like, I guess we could build tax collection places now, but now it's like the corruption reduction feels more important, because if we can do that and then leverage the peasantry income not from taxes but from farming, well, how benevolent, right? How benevolent indeed. How unironically good. I love this campaign so much. The campaign mechanic of Liu Chong is fine. Like, I actually really like the trophy case. It's not, like, as cool as some of the other, like, big mechanics that are, you know, quest-based are. Just because it's so, you know, they're all pretty reasonable except for the bonkers, you know, ammunition ones, which I quite love. But my memory of Sun Tzu 194 is a little hazy, but I remember, you know, there's a lot of stuff to do there. Or, like, Lu Bu's ambitions. There's a lot of stuff to do there. But still... This feels like, you know, with Liu Chong's mechanics, it feels like you're doing a vanilla plus campaign, and of course this is a mod, but, you know, it's like, you're still playing like a normal campaign, whereas playing with Sun Tzu or Lu Bu with their, like, quite extraordinary effects, you're like, okay, this is not like other people are playing the game. Even though 100% ammo on artillery. That's pretty good. And Xu Huang loses his affection. A couple people get some nice assists. Guo Si and Chen Dong become friends in office. Very nice. Now it's time to get the faction there. We're going to... No, we don't want that. Isn't there another heir we could get? I'm going to roll these around for a second until we get like a cool looking faction heir potentially. Because a lot of our vassals hate us, so, you know... Hey, Gongtu Zan's, that could be fun. We've already got some of his guys here. And then we will... Oh yeah, why not? There we go. Take political hostage from vassal. And we get Gongsun Shu, brave general, level 7. You know, who has quite good armor, normal skill tree, brave, cunning, loyal, determined, and scarred. Doesn't look like he's married. And at 39 years old, sir, well, you know, we might be able to find you a wife. It's possible. Seon gets eloquent speaker. My girl, love her. Old Karen. She's the best, right? We love Karen here. Okay, so we can get negative corruption everywhere. I mean, honestly... Well, I mean... As good as that is for, like, overall stuff, he should be focused on the mission, right? So I think for the mission, the important thing is reinforcement range, right? Yeah. Normally I wouldn't even think of that, but for the mission... Alright, the food has restabilized. You know, we've got big cities, but, you know, plenty to follow up on them. Bum 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 bum. Bum bum. Do we need anything here? Markets, yeah. Plenty of assignments to use, plenty of happiness to get from doing them, and then he'll do surplus markets. Do that here, right? And it's basically the same. There'll be more here, I bet. Drops the reserve sums, but not in like a way that actually matters. Alright, time to... Well, no, not time to build yet, and yet we're already doing it, so it's time to build. No, not that one. It's like, and as we've been reducing some corruption, it's time to increase the size of the granaries. And in some cases, begin to farm it all. We should make a grand school in Luoyang. Obviously, we should. And this place is solid money. We just need to, you know, if we had an admin for it, that would go a treat. Do we have anyone who deserves it recently? Let's look through. Let's see. Like, Zhang Liao hadn't been with us that long is the problem for picking him. Not that he wouldn't be bad at it. Not that he would be bad at it, rather. He would do fine. You can make Xi Bai there, you know, as a reward. Oh, no, this is a pretty major post. We can't give it to him just for being like a hero in battle. Alright, we don't have a good choice because everybody that's good is out on assignment, so we'll just wait a bit. There's no need to give somebody such a plum post, right? It's a very important town. Speaking of very important towns, we continue on towards the Mandate of Heaven, so now it's time to... get that one. Not a very dramatic one, but, you know, we gotta... We're taking a tech tree that gets us to a place that isn't really that important, but it is for the story, so we're going. The real tech tree is getting these recruitment hubs, and because we want this Yellow Turban Rebellion to beat them. We can't say it, but that's what we want. Alright, we've got vision on him there now, thanks to the fast work of Sion, who just rides on into town, starts spying, and comes back with all the information you could ever want to know. But I think... Yep. With that, it's time for Luo Jun and Xu Huang to get to the river. You know, word's been had about how stiff the opposition has been becoming, and you know they know they must get away and march to battle. It may be the last time that Liu Chong and his friends see each other. You know, he is 72 years old, and they have been fighting together, you know, for quite some time now. But it's time for them to go to the north and brawl. Perhaps Luo Jun's son will join up with them, and they will get to have mighty encounters, or maybe the new Prince of Chen will come of age right in time, right? And then we'll have a little bit of that to look forward to. What we need to do here is... just hit there, and then we go to hide a little bit here. Can I encamp right here? Yes. Yeah, so we'll just encamp right here at Unding, daring them to come towards us. Speaking of, Sun Bin, you need a better weapon. Do we want to give him the Phoenix Beak? I don't know. We'll hold off on that. We'll give him this battle axe real quick. And you, Shanbei, don't even have... don't even have the archery. Sad. It's because I took it away. Probably. It's hard to say, though. Sometimes Sometimes people just lose their stuff to somebody else, and it's not me. But they won't know what hit them when this army shows up, because we'll swap it and it'll get all Imperial. That'll happen when we get to Chen, right? They'll show up and they'll be like, oh, the Emperor is waiting for you. Not really physically, but, you know, in his mind. Boom, baby. The ambush succeeds, and the already tattered army led by Chu Ying, the tax collector, with no great strategists or heroes among them, and already battered down at about, 40% strength, gets beaten down by our guardians of the river.
快滚回去吧！
Chu Ying, we have already captured and released you before, and so you must be slain. For that is the law of the Emperor when it comes to this war. Unless we really need you for something. Unless we really need you for something.
这对双方都有好处。
Xie wants us to aid them against the looters. Of course we will.
你我携手，定能成就大业。我方认为如此，足下定能满意。
It's like, sure, yeah, whatever y'all want. Now, we do need to get to Zhencheng and grab the horse pasture, because I do want to hold on to that. You know, that's part of the land that we do probably want to grab, because we'll have Wudu anyway, right? And then, yeah, having all of Zhencheng would be very advantageous. But of course, it's not like Ma Chao would be able to say no to us. And then here, yeah, we're obviously going to be helping. So yeah, we'll help out. Is that Cao Cao? Sure looks like him. Lean forward to the screen a little bit.
克勤克诚，
Yep.
方成大事。
Maybe they moved on me. Hard to say. Daorong comes of age. The Prince of Chen, Liu Xie, is 16 years old, and now old enough for war. This is the son of Lady Hu and Liu Chong, Liu Xie. And, you know, his growth has been long awaited. A joyous day indeed. Now, obviously, the first thing that must be done is that he is going to be given administration of Chen. Now, for one so young, you might think that's not appropriate, but, you know, he'll have help. For this was been promised, you know, although not asked for long ago by the Emperor. In Liu Chong, he is well pleased, and Liu Xie, you know, although he will not inherit Chen to his father, will be here, you know, learning the way of governance and figuring out how to do the best that he can for the Emperor and his family in order to bring honor to us all. Oh, we got Gold Master's attire all of a sudden. Distinguished ornate armor for the distinguished warrior. Well, you know. The Emperor just showers gifts upon Liu Chong's oldest son, upon him getting old enough to receive them, right? A Wuhan stallion, a beautiful sword with a jade duck, maybe, on the top. The master's attire. And then, of course, sends him, with him a provincial advisor, you know, knowing that he's going to be running things, and this jade sickle, you know, the spirit of agriculture alive and well. Liu Ji has been spending basically his whole childhood, you know, thinking about gardening, in addition to the dreams of war. He is quiet, honorable, and elusive. And although some think it unseemly to immediately offer the boy a title upon reaching age, you know, the Emperor doesn't really care, and he thinks he's swell. No, none of these really help him with the thing, right? Yeah. Oh, we need director of astronomy. We need some superstitious people. That's what we want to do with him. No, we'll give him a title later. And his first act is to upgrade the granary and the garrison, knowing that Chen must be safe. And with him, of course, the Emperor sends money with instructions to upgrade Chen to be one of the great centers of the region. The Emperor is well pleased with the Prince of Chen and is determined to show how much of a reward can be given for faithful and honest service. Speaking of, Luo Jun's army's about to get all Imperial on him. The Danyang elite spears, elite as they are, spears as they are just a little deprecated by now.
看到众人汇集于此，我心甚慰。
Man, the Imperial Guard in this army are going to be nutty. So they're already very good, and we're just going to make him better. Yeah, full-on 6-stack. Yeah, full-on 6-stack. Keep the dragons, yeah. Do we get some cavalry here? I think I like that. We'll just get 2 Imperial Palace Cavalry, Lancer Cavalry. So these guys have Mighty Knockback natively, and so that'll be good, you know, just 2 of them to defend the backline or whatever the backline may be. Do we want the Pearl Dragons? The Pearl Dragons... 91% evasion Imperial Guard. These guys are going to be the guardiest guard y'all have ever seen. It's going to be nuts. Well, at that point, these guys in a block will have 100, so the Pearl Dragons can become them too. Anyway, they are not ready for what's going to happen to them when these guys show up to the front. Speaking of, they're just going to march. This army is going to be the most I've put together some silly stuff in my time, but I've never had 100 evasion on my infantry. I bet it's going to be cool. Anyway, a very good year as Liu Ji grows up. Liu Ji is our wife. That's not how to say either of their names, but I do my best. I swear to y'all I do my best. I used to say everything even worse. Zhuge Pian gets counteract corruption. Oh, excellent. You know, she, you know, they're friend. I don't know how we're supposed to be related to, because it's like we married the emperor and then we tried to remarry him, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's fine. We might write it in that like she adopts one of these kids that's born, right? You know, that'd be fine. But anyway, excellent stuff. Let us continue on.
准备行动。稍事休息。
Like, is this dude really trying this on me? Like, come on now. Hilarious.
法令必行。恢复原样。
But we will send these fellows up to the horse pastures, right?
莫要急躁，为天下黎民。
干掉敌军。 振作起来！够了。
Xingdarong's army's got like 1,000,000 more movement than they do. Here, if he tries to go any further in, we'll just recruit an army up here and destroy him. I don't think he really has that much movement here, right? And this garrison is very reputable. With any sort of stiffening, it'll be able to repel the assault. And on this front, these guys have made landfall and they're in march, so that's, you know, unwise.
时局变动，戡乱讨逆。
养兵千日，用兵一时。我军如有听众，气焰大盛。
Uji, we had just released you, and you went back and fought again. That is not what we released you for.
朕屈尊与你谈判，还不叩
He's
谢
actually
天恩？
pretty close to abdicating, even though we haven't crossed the river at all, which is pretty funny. Liu Chong has already gotten another weapon for himself, you know, although he's a drunken incompetent. These Zhongnu cavalry were no jokes, right? They, well, you know, big charge bonus, decent armor, decent evasion, mighty knockback, nothing to sneeze at. Plus mighty knockback is, you know, 50% better on a unit with 60 models. And we'll just stay here because if Han Xian is, you know, pushed off there, then that is just fine with me. Maybe I'll play them next. It's got like some cool daughters. I feel like that could be fun. Oh, the yellow turban went this way rather than up for the weaponsmith. Makes sense. Bum, 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 ba-da-da-da-da-da.
又是你这厮！
Alright, so we swap the money
如
for
此才
that.
算长久之计。
Did I do the wrong one? No, it just hasn't swapped over yet. It'll do it now. Okay, there we go. Because now we have even more AP damage, which, you know, what do you get for the boy who has everything? More armor-piercing damage for his armies. That's the answer. That's what you do.
定筹壮志。
You take an Imperial force, and then you juice it up, and then you put even more juice on it, and you're like, man, is this not more than a person would be able to tolerate? Is this not too juiceful? But the answer is no, it is not. The squeezing is worth it.
唯有胜利方能开创未来。
And Liu Chong's just going through the land, hanging out with his nieces and nephews and his cousins, you know, walking through the hills and valleys, the forests and the rivers, and just enjoying 214. A very good year. Suli, a local hero, and you can imagine why, is here.
为了天下和睦，
It's like, you don't have reach, you do.
大
You
人
should
亲
be
临，
leading
士
this
气大
army.
振。
秩序井然，则四还可
I
以。
swear by reach now, man. Reach real good. No one in this army can have it. Oh, but he gives melee evasion to the army, so that's pretty nice, because she does that as well, making this... Yeah, look at the melee evasion on these Chen Peacekeepers, 63%. And that's not even their thing.
团结一
Stacking
心，
buffs totally showing up, and now it's time to end the turn, question mark? Yes, I think so.
心怀智略，
恢复原样。
Oh, Zhang Liao. Well, you know, that would be a good little Phoenix speak for him, huh? Right? Yeah. It would indeed be. I'm like, that's right. He's a sentinel that gets cool weapons. Boom, there you go. Phoenix's beak for him to replace the sword that not me took. Not me. I didn't do it.
正在行进。 振作起来，目标明确。
But here we march along the riverbank. You know, there are problems that way. We don't want that to happen. We don't want there to be problems that are insurmountable. What we need to do is, you know, we either have to have a garrison for this guy, or we got to clean this up a little bit. Probably clean it up a little bit. And
团
install,
结一心，
you know, somebody over there.
出发！
心境澄澈，天下庶几可定。保固江山，稍事休息。我已
Oh
归
yeah,
来。
he's already on his boat, so he can go anywhere. This dude's got all the movement. But let's see where they end up going, because of course the real cavalry is showing up here. Is there some cavalry involved? Yes, but mainly it's the cavalry. These Imperial Gate Guards are going to be bonkers, right? When they're in this, they're going to get 10 more evasion, so they're going to be 80 evasion, 80 armor brawlers. Like, our infantry is going to be crazy. It's going to be great. And then, you know, maybe it'll get boring, but not quickly, it won't. Alright, that's the turn. That's the turn. And Liu Yu has attacked Gongsun. Shameful behavior. Like, Gongsun has, like, basically no land at this point. Oh, Song Jian is his vassal now. That makes sense. Most of the people that are unaffiliated are now affiliated. You know, once it starts shaking out, you gotta pick a side. They could have picked me. And then here we can give them... Yeah, because Rosedome and Maker I like totally don't care about at all. All our strategists have their own unique things, right? And then we will give them a little discount. We'll give him a big discount. Alright, and this will... Yeah, I mean, hey. It only takes a little while to do. Bam. And, you know, sure, we gave him a discount, but he's going to be paying in, and it'll be our vassal. And now all of Korea is both fragmented, which is good, because they're not strong, and it works for me, which is good, because they'll be against Song. And, no, the jaws are gonna close around them. Bum, bum, bum. And we get a new weapon forged. Li Zhuo becomes impeccable, as does Yingrong. Guo Si and Lu Ji become wise. I mean, yeah, baller, great. We get a couple of nice weapons, and Liu Zhuo. This guy is not the other guy. The Calming Wind. Alright, first up, just distribute some levels. Luo Jun becomes a better administrator, love that for him. Dao Ying becomes, you know, better at court, equally good.
我们。追寻荣
And
耀。
Liu Chong returns to Chen in the
禀报一
harvest
下近况。
to spend some time with his family
万物失节，
and just have a good time.
立马行动。
Luo Jun arrives at the front. Who shall be the other general here? Got a lot of choices. Now, I'm pretty sure Dao Qian was a spy, but I'm not like 100% sure she was a spy. And she would be a spy for like Xi Jie, I think, anyway. You know. Maybe she's not a spy. We're gonna throw her into the army.
冷静沉
The Deadly Beauty, Dao Qian is here. We've got White Horse Raiders, awesome. Wuhan Raiders, awesome. And then we'll just
看到众人
Fill it
汇集
in.
于此，我心甚慰。
with some Chen Royal Guard. Give her a nice bow. Yes, huzzah. You've already got that one in this army. Alright, yeah, so Diao Chan, the Deadly Beauty, can join up with our heroes here. She does get along with them after all. Maybe she can marry Xu Huang, right? You know. And Lu Bu will just get over it. He's not going to go all Achilles about it or anything. That wouldn't even make sense. It's the wrong universe for that sort of behavior.
我的传承必将归于荣
And
耀。
Liu Chong visits Liu Ji and sees the great job that he's doing here. And is just so pleased, so thrilled, so, in all other ways, happy with his son and how he's doing good work. Liu Wei, one of our cousins, comes over to supervise some of the construction and help out on that front. Keep on granarying, and then here we want, yes, admin. And here, I guess, I mean, yeah, the granary makes a ton of sense thematically, if not in any other way. And now we're broke again, just where we want to be. No, we'll be able to build. Oh, that's this one, and it doesn't give us any... Now I understand. There you go. Well, that was funny. It's fine. Let's build a granary here. It is, after all, an emperor's seat. And it looks like he is coming up the way here, so we're going to want to... well, we'll get an army there next turn. In the winter.
一统山河，一统天下。 准备急行军。
Well, this is not a good place to go across, is it? No. But you know, if they take the horse pasture, maybe these guys will take it away from them. I don't know.
廉洁奉公，
稍事休息，迅速出击。
We're gonna send Lu Bu to, you know, besiege the castle, because this army has the big movement on it, right? The army of the Grand Commandant. And then maybe they'll be able to run over this way
为
and
天
help.
下苍生。
There's probably a building here that reduces my movement. There's a lot of buildings here. It's a level 10 city. A level 10 city, yeah, there's a lot of that going around. So how does the corruption reduction go? Very nice. Okay, so with all of the effects going, now we're at only 41% corruption, which, you know, has the taxes rolling in a little bit. A little bit. Could be better.
冷静沉着。保持
Shockingly, I, the government, think that they could pay more taxes if they wanted.
每一步都颇具智慧。整装待发。
Ah, look at that. Looks like they're gonna try to take Dong here. Well, you know what would really get in the way of that?
农民
Yeah, we're just gonna move here because
追
the
寻荣耀。
mustering bonus, you know, you're at 50, but the mustering goes on top of that, but we'll still be at 50 when we get to there, so... And we will need to leave somebody here. Both of these somebodies here, and then Luo Jun and can meet up with the lady who you know, she gets along with them, but in game we say that they don't like her, you know. They get along though. They respect her. But you know, Liu Chong doesn't like his wife because she's like really good at everything. He's like a little bit jealous about it, but he doesn't know how to communicate that, you know, because he's not as emotionally available as he should be. So he's like kind of mad that she's like really good at math and stuff. That's the story.
原地候命，以逸待劳，静候敌军。
But as they try to make landfall over here, we might be able to get a big ol' brawl where,
硕果满枝，良和
you
遍
know,
野。
this army, which has no real heroes in it, meets up with the one who's got them. You know, we might give her some better attendance, you know. She doesn't even like these dudes, so maybe we'll replace them before too long. Zuting, this is the one we wanted to play with. Flower on the battlefield, mending, like... Yeah. Zulong. Flower on the battlefield was the ability Liu Xie had in Make Them Unique, which was the previous overhaul that I played. But, alright, so... From there, we have yet another very fast turn. I'm so proud of me for moving the time along.
怒吼吧！
Alright, so D cataphracts. Man, oh yeah, I totally would like these. These are right up my alley, right? Very, very evasive, and they have shields, so very solid. Of course, we can get them through our recruitment up here. We just didn't have them for our dude because he was not level 6 yet, and is still not level 6 yet. Come to that. It is alright.
全军前进。
It's like we were gonna go there to ambush, but now we're gonna go here. Oh, yeah. So Liu Bei is scattering. He is running for the hills, running for his life. He does not want to brawl with this quite large force of Yuan Shao's here. It's like, yeah, now it's -20. It's been a little while since he lost, and now he doesn't want to do it anymore.
那就快点吧。朕屈尊与你谈判，还不叩谢天恩？与你一战，还
But
是
we
绰
call
绰。
everyone to arms against him. Which I think was just Chogo. You better get to work, buddy. We ain't paying you for nothing. It's like, you're not paying me at all. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Huh. I'm not paying him at all. Liu Zhang is still kicking at 72. They call him a vicious strongman. I call him brave, reckless, impeccable, and arrogant. And arrogant doesn't have to be a bad trait. Alright, we need more Noble's leather, but we can't take Lady Hu's away there, but she gets the Kindred Jun there. Which is fine enough, you know. Get her working.
折而不摧。
Mi Hung will get, you know, an adept thing and book. No, he'll get a book. Liu Bei keeps on being like, hey, can I get into a war on the other side of the world? I sure would like to set up over there. No reason. You know, the Nonman lands are shaking out pretty decently for all that plenty of Han factions are fighting over them. You know, it stops. Oh, and then we'll just run away here, I guess. Yeah, there you go. Because really what we're trying to do there is just keep on pushing him around. And honestly, win the auto-resolve. That's what we really want. And we get a new weapon. Liu Xie becomes dutiful. Huzzah! You know, makes sense. And some people make friends. Here we quite comfortably steal away.
大获全胜，
Send
毋
here
庸
the
置
Great
疑
Wall in the distance, and we are beyond it, just like I promised. We occupy this
还
imperial
是有些
city
用处的。
and promote a character of uncommon talent who is Shintuyan, an academic who is weak, temperamental, and feared. Let's just fire him, right?
知难而上。
Alright, how's
以
this
成
city
大业
built? Build the Grand Academy. Yeah, you know, commerce all over is just big, we don't have any multipliers on it, and, yeah. Oh, because you gotta... convert that one over. We do not need
杀！
this training camp here. This place desperately needs an administrator, but we don't have a position. I think we'll get one next year. This guy trying to get in here, so we will just raise an army here. Who shall it be? But yes, the old man of the hills.
我已准备好作战了。
Coming up to the north to make himself useful.
此地百姓聚集，最适合在此开市贸易。
Mika wants to get in here too, you know. All the tribesmen want to get in.
开战！
And Hongzhong will just lead them. You know, these peasant band are trash.
"群山万壑，皆通于天。
And it's just cav all the time there. 1 unit of archers for fire arrows. Yeah, why not? Yep, and the merc archers are already up, or these saber militia totally don't need to be here. Whoops. We'll get a peacekeeper. Very good for the front, and then, you know, we'll be able to push them out. They won't be able to get in through this. No siree. No sirrah. Speaking of sirrah, let's get a pass upgraded. Yes, that is what will be. More food, crucial. Just spending all our money on them. All our money on them.
唯有胜利方能开创未来。
We're gonna build a fine school here in Chen.
不露声色，
That's what we need. That's what the people want to see.
拿起武器，
And Lady Hu gets to level 8. Gets to unyielding earth and block chance? Yeah. And well, she can swap to a level 8 retinue soon, which is just gonna be probably what, getting you know, juggernauts.
秋日一至，必树柳。
The old curator, the general who scaled the city walls so long ago and is now doing a teaching assignment, making everybody on the front get so much experience, as is tradition. Here, unfortunately, they've taken that land, but I want it. Can we get it from them? Oh, well, we would just take stuff up here and trade it to them, I think. Well, let's see how much. Well, you know, maybe someone will take it from them if we wait. That's not what we're waiting for, though. We are gonna just charge up here. Reasoning that even in March, even if these guys could reach us, that we would just beat them up. Shanbei headhunters. We know these guys are terrifying. These guys are the only thing that can beat our generals. We would just run them down with raiders. But now we cannot cross the river though over there, so we have to loop around this way. That's the edict of the emperor, and it must be respected. You know, this little thing that we don't have to ford, we can go over that, but we can't cross the big huge part of the river. Only the little ones until we go up to the source. Even though you might think this is it. No, it's in here that we have to go. And of course on the attack we reduce their morale a bit, which gives us the auto that we want.
吾等需要精兵良将，此地百姓不多，但足以为天下所用。
So with this, we eliminate his faction, and hopefully he'll join us, right? Because he's a decently high-level guy, and he'll be a representative of the D. Although that might make, you know, Yalu's husband mad. But we don't capture him. Still, we'll release him. You know, they might show up in the pool after all, having developed fondness after their defeat here. Domao has been eliminated from playoff contention. He is no more. Like, I'm pretty sure you're a spy, buddy, and I don't want you in my faction even if you're not. But I will take your stuff away from you, because you don't deserve it. I mean, I don't hate him, but he's a bandit, and look at the people that he served, right? And you know, with that glorious victory, one step closer to a nice and peaceful border with the Nanmen forever. Yes, forever. Nothing would ever go wrong down there, I'm sure. Things sure are going well. Alright, faction support there is climbing. These guys are merely walking across our land. I'm sure they don't mean anything by it. Yes, I am sure. Sure of it. Cao Cao would never, after all. Not while he was far away from home, anyway. He wouldn't trust them to do it. I think.
胸怀中正，出发！
团结一心，一统天下。
Push them off there. It is the autumn. Liu Chong is 73 years old. He's finally got to spend some time at home with his family. I'm not trying to sound ominous, I just do have a bad feeling. Let's see what happens. Oh, and Xingdarong and Lu Ji become friends. Excellent. All right. Let's see what happens. I love this campaign. You know, I don't know how it's gonna go. I mean, we're gonna win, but that's not what I mean.
此次会晤收获颇丰，多谢。
Guo Si, if you want to help across the world, then like the non-men setting up in the steppe would be quite a change. And so the Prince Liu Chong falls in the winter of 214. To old age, he was 73. In life, we know that Liu Chong was murdered by Yuan Shao, as was Liu Jun. So giving him these extra 20 years almost has felt very nice. You know, he's got to see his children grow up. He has gotten to grow to appreciate some of the better qualities of his wife, to see the emperor restored to the throne, to slay the tyrant. What greater deeds were ever done than those of Liu Chong? He was able to smite the traitors before him, to set matters to rights within his own family, and then, in the last years of his life, still able to return to the flowers and the trees of Chen, his birthright that he loved so much. And now, we will be able to pass on his retinue, not to you, Can we not give it to him because he's an admin? Ah, that's too bad. Alright, so the person who gets this retinue has to be the most deserving in the world, right? All these people at the bottom aren't even in my faction. Alright. I guess Luo Tong, right? Yeah. That's the most logical of them then. And we will the units will be renamed by order of the Emperor to be, you know, like the Prince's own. But Luo Tong will be able to take over that and, you know, try to rejoin. And this is Yang Feng? Oh, he's 67 years old. Yeah. Yang Feng, the White Wave warlord, has fallen to time. And, yeah, you know, the relentless march comes for us all. Tick-tock and all that. Well, with that in mind, we will... That one? Yeah, why not? You are Dao Ying's son and have just come of age. And Liu Ji, also I thought I didn't see him in there. Liu Ji and Liu Chong die in the same year. And we will side with Chicken Rib Guy. Liu Chong has died of natural causes, as has Yang Feng. Now, Liu Ji was a fine minister and a loyal servant of the Han. Liu Chong was a hero. Liu Chong is a man without which none of this could have ever happened. Liu Ji, you make sure that you live up to your father's obligations. And with that, of course, he is the Prince of Chen. Prince Liu Ji, as his father has fallen. Now he bears the title. May he always prove as worthy of it. Alas, my heart. And then next spring, you know, it'll be the dawning of the new era, right? The Imperial Palace will be built. The Imperial Uncle has fallen to time. Chen is still being showered with the favors of the Emperor. And these chumps are totally on their way out.
不要分心。
诸位猛士， 随我征战。我已归来，拿起武器，
平定天下，开战！
Boom, boom, boom.
大人，有何吩咐？主公尽管吩咐。
I think that's right, he was a spy. We need to fire him. Han Lin, what on earth are you doing up here? Aren't we with you? No, you work for me. Never mind.
请讲。
I mean, welcome. Welcome, buddy.
正气如火，熊熊不息。
Yes, and there. As a mark of honor of the mark of honor from the Emperor, the Royal Guard and siege weapons of the Prince are illuminated as such. A very rare regimental honor. Unattested, such is its rarity. But a mark indeed of the incredibly high esteem which the Emperor held and holds his dearly departed uncle. Oh yeah, we should probably give this guy a job. We'll get around to it. Looks like we have pushed them entirely off of the beaches here. Makes sense.
则四海可定。
正在行进。
And you know, him meeting up with
违令者
the Lady
斩。
Hu, hopefully they get along. Yes, they do. Wonderful. She doesn't like Dao Chen. That's super surprising. Oh, look at that. With the death of the Prince of Chen, the Duchy of Wei declares their independence, which I believe means they declare war on me. Oh boy, well, the plot thickens, doesn't it? Yes, it certainly does. And, you know... Well, you know, they, he clearly thought that the Emperor really wasn't running things, and this was going to be a good move for him, so we'll see. Either that, or he took the Imperial City there, but either way, now, you know, because I did not actually see that coming, right? However, we are plenty close... Timepiece with us? No, I don't think so. We are plenty close to the front with Wei, and I, you know, Cao Cao. You know, the last thing that Liu Chong did was tell the Emperor to watch out for you. though the imperial uncle may have fallen to winter, and though Cao Cao did not wait for his body to be cold to strike against the Grand Temple of Confucius of all things, well, we have heroes enough to deal with you, Cao Cao. If he thought that the Grand Commandant being away was going to make this easier on him, oh, he's got another thing coming. Oh, I tell you that. Now I tell you that. I also tell you, this makes a great part to end this video. And, you know, just as I was wondering what would happen next, well, we see. I wonder what that sly cur Cao Cao is going to be trying here. Of course, we share a large and porous border. Ah, and he becomes vassalized by the Kingdom of Song. Shameful. Shameful from Cao Cao. Alright, what do we have going on? We know where he's at there. We've got this army that can roll up. You know, and Zhang Liao just went across the river too. Ah, man, he really got me, huh? Liu Ji becomes selfless. Yu Fu becomes cheerful. Sun Yi joins up with us. Christian, yeah, this is that guy we were hoping he would join up with us, and he did. From Domao's. Fengji, you can't be a spy, because you're from... but you're also not desirable of a guy, are you? We should have known when we saw the Yuan among them. Oh, we should have known. But what's the immediate danger, right? So Cao Cao has lands over here, but all of our combined forces are against him. Cao Cao himself is on this side of the river with... Fan Lian here, and Cao Chun. 50% armor for Cav if he's in there. That's pretty good. And then, of course, Cao Cao himself, who does not have Shadowrunner, but has the manual for Stalk, so that's pretty good. You know, this army would have a time with them, but if we, you know, if we were defending a place, we'd be able to take them out. And that's really what we need on this front, is to make sure that Cao Cao can't just, like, come in at us, right? But anyway, this... We're gonna begin again with this later on, probably tonight in several hours. But this is an amazing spot to end the video. And yeah, we'll be able to charge these guys up. We'll get some people for Luo Tong's army, and you know we'll see what's going, because we have to still defend the river, of course. But then we'll have the Lady Hu and Luo Jun, and then Luo Tong and whoever else we might actually, of course, we should, you know, because Prince Liu Ji. Now that these guys are right here outside of his lands, you know. But we'll do all of this when we come back. But yes, we'll raise people there. Probably like what, like a lot of the Sun family. It'll be like a grab bag of all the people that used to be enemies and respect him most, you know, and yeah, it could be like a bunch of old men, like an Expendables type thing too, where. But see, the thing is we know that we've got massive amounts of supplies everywhere, and we've got our garrisons. So, you know, in most of these places on the wall. So we know that even if they make a move, which they can't, we know where all their armies are. He was just, you know, Cao Cao is a crafty one, and he's duplicitous, you know. He saw a moment where he thought our armies were far enough away where he could make a breakout. And of course, we do lose a lot of money from it. We lose some money from it. We lose a bit of money from it. But just kill Liu Zhang? No, we'll keep him around. We want to defeat them, after all. But it's the spring of 215, and as the Imperial Palace was built, no sooner than it went up, you know, right after the death of our beloved uncle. But Cao Cao declares war. The satisfaction is also going down because they took the palace. Of course, we don't have any real problems yet. He's the only guy that's down a bit, but we'll just get a filial and corrupt rolling. Someone's got to have it. Oh, of course, Xu Huang. We'll be able to get, we'll get Xu Huang, Luo Tong, and Liu Xie together, and Xu Huang will, you know, having been forgiven from the previous thing, will be able to take part in the wars against them.
开战！
做好准备。
居安思危，未雨
But
绸
Luo
缪。
Jun was desirous that they should not escape, and marches forward gallantly, placing his force in between them and their way out.
时局变动，戡乱讨逆。
前进！ 拿起武器！
I said I was ending. What I meant was I'm about to ending.
力求上进！
No, but we can't put Prince Liu Ji into the army yet, of course, because he's still administering and there's an army outside, so we couldn't, like, ride out. That wouldn't be suitable. Yeah, Xu Huang, yeah, why not? No reason why not. He, after all, is an old man, and he can, you know, because he would have been part of... He used to be an excellency, right? So he also wants to, you know, redeem himself in the eyes of all. Here...
遍观四周，万物复苏。
You know, Xu Huang just swaps to Azure Dragons, 4 count, and then... Scuffle J Dragon, he is, oh yeah, it's only speed faction wide if he's the one doing it. His army gives him speed when he's commanding. I think it's the whole army speed. It is the whole army speed when he's commanding, so that's definitely desirable. The Princeman
想问
there.
点什么？
And upon
此地百姓日
taking
增，甚为可
the
喜。
ownership, the leadership there, he has been named Patrol Commander, you know, at the humble age of 22. A very auspicious office for him. Xu Huang still the enemy on the front, and Xu Huang being the one who is going to go and deal with the old dog his father will be Oh, we finally got General who smashes the caitiffs. Well, we need to hand those out to the people at the top then. Anyway, yeah, he'll be named the General of the Right.
力求上进，功名震天。
And now he's going to be named General of the Standard, you know, just because it supports the state. And Guo Si is going to be named General who smashes the caitiffs because, you know, it supports the state. And he did some caitiff smashing, right? Yeah, he totally did some caitiff smashing. Now, really, this one should belong to Luo Jun because of his performance in the defense of Chang'an, the offense against Chang'an, against the bandits. But that's not going to give us, you know, these. I mean, really, the general supports the Han. That would be the best thing, but for him. But there we go. He is an astute advisor. You know, the blade of Shangyu needs to go to somebody. We're just gonna let Guo Si hold on to the celestial sword. You know, it's you know, for the satisfaction.
心境澄澈，天下庶几可定。
But not to be outdone, the lady shows up.
居安思危。
And you know, it's about to get real up in here for these fools. We'll give him some real weapons. Oh, and of course, the prince's own crossbow.
拿起
Now
武
the
器
real thing, we're not gonna do it. Yeah, like I guess we give it to his son, but it would be a beautiful thing if in his will he leaves it to Lady Hu, you know, because you know to. Oh, and the Ebon Prince. Ay ay ay. It hurts, right? It hurts to see him gone. You know, it's a beautiful spring, but it hurts to see him gone. We're gonna save now, and when we pick back up, we'll deal with this. And this is actually perfect, right? This is so interesting because now we have more to do over here, and we were already going to restructure the system of vassalage and create empire, right? So perhaps we will do that soon, and you know that'll drop the amount of money that we make. But you know the corruption reduction is coming in force gradually. Liu Yang making a whole chunk of money now, right? A whole chunk of it. But that's all I've got for you right now. I'm having the best time with this campaign. I'm so glad it is where it is now. Cao Cao has overstepped his bounds. Whether or not this war goes all right for him for some length of time, it absolutely will not in the longer term. We are going to destroy him. There will be naught left but lands that used to call him overlord. Obviously, there are plenty of people in the Cao family that we would be pleased to bring in to our own realm. Plenty of people in our faction have good relationships with them, but Cao Cao has he has ate the bread of the Han for too long. He has eaten at our table. He has made a mistake from which there is no returning. He is despicable in our eyes. He will be slain. Send out Chicken Rib Guy. We're going to war. Ba-da-dum-bum, ba-da-dum-bum-bum. No, not really. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. The year is 215. Cao Cao has betrayed us. 70 million people rely on the Emperor for wise leadership, and Cao Cao has elected to betray us. Maybe he was upset that we uplifted Taishitsi. There's a lot of things that he could be mad about, but I'm not sure what they are. No, I'm not sure what they are. Speaking of Taishitsi, are we still giving him some money? A little bit. Well, when we return, we'll deal with this because, of course, the Koreans, they see this and they see easy pickings on this arc, which, you know, we hardly want them to expand out there. But if they do, you know, then they do. As for right now, they're paying me, right? That's really what's going on. Not a ton. I mean, Chogo, we're getting 3K out of Chogo. He's not broke. Most of the people paying us aren't paying us very much, but that's why we have so many of them. Anyway, that's all I've got for you right now. It's a wonderful time out here. We can see that most people don't like it. Taishitsi doesn't like us anymore.
有什么要提的?
Oh, from releasing our generals. Well, you know, let's offer them a little bit of food real quick.
此君子之义也.
Because, like, we're actually concerned that we want him to like us, but I guess, you know, we got to start executing the generals of the enemies if we want to keep that rolling.
请进，朋友。 你若不再说谎，我等尚有的谈。又是你这厮！
And here, you know, he's got basically nothing but this tool maker, which is just fine with me. Just grab him there. It makes a lot of people upset. He's also a traitor and a vengeful rebel by personality. You know, let's not. This is a silly idea.
Get
a trade agreement with old Kongrong. Like I said, we were ending it, and I'm keeping on playing. No, we're actually ending it. We have to end it because otherwise the story just gets clogged up with how amazing this is. But anyway, I really am ending. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed. Ellie's so good to see you today. But yeah, that's where our story is going now. You know, in the north, Liu Ji and the army of the Grand Commandant press on, trying to lift the curse, still far away from getting it done, but on the path. Unbeknownst to them, little did they know that Cao Cao was waiting for this, biding his time, telling everybody what a good idea it was, thinking, this will surely be my moment. What will happen next time? Will Cao Cao get away with it? Will Lu Bu and Lu Ji be successful in their quest? Will Luo Tong honorably lead the army of Liu Chong departed from these lands? What will happen with the new Prince of Chen? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. That'll probably be tonight. Maybe tomorrow. It's hard to say. Who can tell the future? Not me. If I did, I would have punched Cao Cao a couple more times. No. You know, you can't... You don't want to judge a guy for what he did 1,800 years ago. But if it's Cao Cao, maybe you shouldn't be surprised if you get stabbed in the back. That's my lesson for the day. Anyway, see you guys later.